Okay, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the part of the world. I am Diane Klein, and we are with the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs. We're talking about putting on your brakes. And today we're going to talk about your comfort zone. I am here with the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs, and I have a whole panel of beautiful ladies with me, and we're going to mastermind about release the brakes. We're going to talk about your comfort zone and how we stay in a certain comfort zone, and it's hard for us to move on, but sometimes we just have to up, lift our feet, and keep walking. We welcome you to this mastermind today, and we're so glad you joined us. We do this every morning from Monday through Thursday, and we're here to give you value and help ourselves to move on in our businesses as well. We are talking about the Jack Canfield book, The Principles of Success. And these are all principles that the successful people have done before. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, but what we do have to do is we have to take action. So the reason we're talking about these different principles every day or the 4 days of the week is that so we can keep going in our business, move to the next level, and help you to get where you want to go. We are here for you. If you have any questions at all, you can get a hold of us at the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs. We have a blog. Come visit our blog, check it out. If you missed this hangout, then you can watch the replay there as well. And leave us a comment, please. That would be great. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments and we will get the answers for you. So I have with me today Rachel Kelly, who is the founder of the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs. I have Jody Maley. I have Marie, who is fairly new. Welcome, Maria. And I have Rhonda, who is also new. Welcome, Rhonda. And myself, I introduce myself. I'm Diane Klein. So we will start with principle number 10, and it's release the brakes. And I'm just going to read the very first little part of it, and then I think we'll just do points and discuss little points in the book as we go along. This chapter is quite long, so we'll just hit the PowerPoints in here. So release the brakes. Everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. Robert Allen. Have you ever been driving your car and suddenly realized you had left the emergency brake on? Did you push down harder on the gas to overcome the drag of the brake? No, of course not. You simply released the brake, and with no extra effort, you started to go faster. Most people drive through life with their psychological emergency brake on. They hold on to the negative images about themselves or suffer the effects of powerful experiences they haven't yet released. They stay in a comfort zone, entirely of their own making. They maintain inaccurate beliefs about reality or harbor guilt and self-doubt. And when they try to achieve their goals, these negative images and programmed comfort zones always cancel out their good intentions no matter how hard they try. Successful people, on the other hand, have discovered that instead of using increased willpower as the engine of power to power their success, it's simply easier to release the brakes by letting go of and replacing their limited beliefs and changing their self-images. Now, this is so true, ladies. I totally agree with this. I know I had to do a lot the last year to step out of my comfort zone. And hosting right here and being today, doing Monday startup of the Fearless Entrepreneurs is definitely one of them, because I didn't even make videos a year ago. I just decided one day, okay, I can do this. And I started with my camera on my computer, and I started making videos for advertising for my business. And then I think a couple of months ago, I think I'm in my third month now with this group right here, where I'm actually coming out and I'm helping the panel and doing a day of leading. So this is totally out of my comfort zone. I totally understand how it feels to be in a comfort zone and to stay kind of stuck there, where you say, okay, I'm comfortable here, I don't want to move. But in order for us to grow, in order for us to get where we want to go in our businesses, we have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to work on our mindset. We have to read. We have to do what we can to get to the next level in our business, in our life, in everyday things, even in parenting. Most of us here are parents as well. So that's the point they're trying to make here, is that most people, 93% of the people in the world just stay in their comfort zone, They don't have any self-image. They don't achieve their goals. They just have negative images about what's going to happen, and they're scared to try new stuff. So we're going to be here today to talk to you about getting out of that. Because most successful people don't do that. They discover how to release the brakes. Does anybody want to come out and talk before we keep going here?
You know what? One of the things that came to me while we were reading this, and I heard this a few years ago, and then I realized that I was doing that, where I was going through life with the brakes on and not even realizing that I was doing that. And the first time I heard that, I had paid for a self-development course. I believe it was about $1,500, which was outside my comfort zone to pay for something like that. And when I was listening to, they had like videos and tutorials that went along with it for your daily motivation and stuff. And one of the things that the fellow who designed the course talked about was getting out of the drama, And I thought, I'm not in drama situations, like things in my life have just happened or whatever. And because at that point that I had actually bought this course, our house had burned down. We had relocated several times for my husband's job. We had used up all our RSPs. And I found out I had a heart condition combined with migraines, and I thought, life at that point was just so, I don't think I could have gone any further down in the hole, right? And I thought, but I'm not creating that drama, Those were all things that just happened. And it was really in this course and training that I realized, just like the book said, I did have the brakes on, and I wasn't open to new things. And I was creating that drama by just allowing life to happen instead of choosing good things to happen. So now every morning is a combination of being relaxed and being loving and really giving that, what new adventure am I going to have today? I want to seek out that new adventure. And that's what my life is now. There's no drama. It's just simply seeking more, being adventurous, and really stepping out of the comfort zone of God's got something great for me today. It's up to me to find it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jody. I totally agree with you. And something that he mentions here is that when we're in our comfort zone, we should consider it as our little prison. And I so agree, because if you sit in that little comfort zone, you don't grow and you actually don't get anywhere. You can sit there and dream all your life. But if you don't take action and do something about those goals, about those dreams, and know and believe in yourself, then you're not going to go anywhere. And one of the stories here that he mentions is how they train elephants. And when they're very little, they tie them to this rope. And the little elephant tries to break free from the rope, and it can't. So eventually, it just trains its mind to know that it's not going to be able to get loose from the rope. So it just stays that way. And that's how the elephant matures and becomes big. And even when it's a huge elephant, it has this little rope tied to its neck. It still doesn't break loose. So we don't want to be like that. We want to break out of that system. We want to break out of our comfort zone, and we want to experience what the world has to offer us. We want to experience the person and become the person that we were so amazingly created to be. Because we all have a gift. Every single one of us was created to do something amazing in this world. And as soon as we realize that, we have to act on it. So the next part here is talking about how to break out of different things, and you can use affirmations and positive feedback to do that for yourself. And when you recreate the same experience over and over again for yourself, then that's where you're going to stick. If you're always going to tell us, oh, we're always going to have too many bills, oh, we'll always live in this little house, oh, we'll never have that, and I'll never have money for my kids, that's where you are going to stay at. But if you start forming some good habits, if you get yourself some great affirmations, if you do the self-talk for yourself, positive self-talk, and affirm yourself every single day, and form some habits, Because I want to tell you something. Every successful person out there started from scratch. They all started with that very first step, and they took baby steps. They formed some good habits. They started with affirmation. They started with self-talk. Because as a man thinketh, so a man is. So whatever you think about, that's what happens to you. Does anybody else want to share?
Sure, Diane, I'll come out. This is like one of my favorite topics because, so many of us are held back because of, being uncomfortable. And when we get to the point where, we are comfortable in our position and we want to do something greater, we know that we're not going to get there as long as we're comfortable. The way that you know that you're growing and you're moving into your ideal place in life is when you are uncomfortable. I remember back when, a couple years ago, I shouldn't say a couple years, but I'll just put it a couple years ago because that's just kind of a general statement. I had a dream to do something really, really big, be on stage, mentor some other people, help some other people out. It's just a part of who I am. And I remember I used to go to the Think and Grow Rich calls on every morning, Monday through Friday. Well, on those calls, I was terrified. I literally would get on those calls and, I made myself go out and talk. I mean, I didn't know these people. I didn't know anybody on there. But I was determined that I was going to overcome this fear that kept me bound. And that's why I named this Hangout the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs, because, I was determined to become fearless no matter what, no matter, I was terrified to get on stage in front of people. And so now, I've overcome those fears. So now I'm kind of comfortable. So I know that it's time to go to a new level because I'm a little too comfortable now. I mean, I'm able to get on the stage and hold a mic and not tremble. But I could not do those things. I really could not. And I remember telling Paul Hutchings one day, I was like, Paul, I'm going to come on this call and I'm going to talk until I get to the point where I'm not terrified anymore. And so one day, I think I actually ended up went to an event and I met him, and he's like, Rachel, just do it, because I was telling him that I wanted to do something like this. And I had already had a millionaire tell me to do this. And so that was kind of like the confirmation. I'm like, what am I scared of? Why not just go ahead and do it? And so that's kind of where this was born. And I must say it's been one of the best experiences, best things I've ever done, because it has actually taken me to another place. But again, I just want to encourage those of you, once you have overcome something, keep pushing to another level. So, and what I'd say is affirmations, just like you mentioned, Diane, probably was the best thing that I've ever done. And I didn't see them every day, but I said them. And I held myself accountable. I told a group of people, and I hung around people every day that encouraged me and inspired me. And I think I think it's all those things. I don't think it's just one. I think it's all of those things. Like even coming here with you all every day, that encourages me even more to keep going. So I just want to encourage you, hang around as many people as you can that are positive and are doing some things that are uncomfortable so that you can become comfortable. And Diane, I know you might say it, but I just want to encourage those that are listening in, leave your comments and tell us, your experiences and what your thoughts on being, uncomfortable. Just wanted to add that to it. Back to you, Di.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, for sure. And the thing is, if we stay where we're at, and if we stay at the level that we're at, and we always feel uncomfortable and we never do anything about it, nothing is going to change in our lives. So if we want something in life, then we just have to step out of the box, get uncomfortable, and do it. And I know Rachel has mentioned about getting uncomfortable and then feeling better. And every time we do something new, and I'm just going to bring in my business that I'm in with right now, this new level that I'm at called Genesis, there's things that you have to do where you feel uncomfortable. But guess what? It's not as hard as it seems. It's actually quite simple if you just follow the training. And I'm sure you've all been in a business or in life somewhere where you felt uncomfortable, and then you just stepped out and took the first little step, and you're like, why was I so scared? Because you know what? Fear is just false, how does it go now? False incidents appearing real. or false evidence appearing real. So you can tell yourself what's going to happen and your mind can just go crazy. But don't do that. Always look at the positiveness of it. Always look at the positive side of the situation and always say, wow, once I get there, I'm going to be, so and so. So that's what you always have to do in life. Don't look at the fear part of it. Just push through and just keep going and always look at the positive side of it. So I think we'll just move. Go ahead.
I just thought about when you're talking about Genesis. I just kind of want to, because some maybe people looking and listening and that are in that program, and just want to say to you, the more you study, the more, and don't study too long. There's a saying that says you study long, you study wrong. Just do a little test, try it out. A lot of people are afraid to spend money. It takes the money to make money. And if you don't have, $200, $300, $500 to invest in a product to brand yourself, just start out real small. Start out something that's comfortable with you. And once you do that first order, you make that first order, then it's not that difficult for you to keep going. So just wanted to add that to it, because a lot of people are afraid and they don't realize all you got to do is start really small. It's just like with anything else. You go spend $20 on a pizza. You weren't afraid to do that. So, or even $50. Go, $50 for the whole family to go out to the movies. You just go spend it, and there's no big deal. But when it comes to a business transaction, now you have all kind of issues with, should I spend that money? Is that too much? What's the difference? And here, if you spend it and you spend it wisely, you're going to get a return. When you go to the movie theater or buy a pizza, there is no return on your investment. So that's another thing that I think people don't look at and should look at is the investment. It's an investment. Back to you, Di.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, that was great. And the next thing in the book we're going to talk about is your financial temperature. And I really love this. I don't remember the book that it was called where I first learned about this, and I thought that was just incredibly amazing. When you study and learn about your financial temperature, then you'll realize that there's so many of us that are in certain zone where we have an income and we just stick with that income. Now, let's say you're a person who makes $60,000 a year, or you and your spouse, or your family income is $60,000 a year. If that's you and you think about that, that's the zone and that's the place, the temperature where you're going to stay at. And that's not encouraged. If you want to step out of your comfort zone and you want to get to places and you want to have the financial freedom that you want in your life, then you have to change that mindset. You have to change that way of thinking. And one of the examples he gave in here was she was writing about her stepfather, or he was writing about his stepfather, where he noticed in the company that the salespeople were all at the $30,000 a month salesperson comfort zone, and if they didn't make $30,000 by the end of the month, they worked overtime the last week. They worked like crazy to get to that point. And when they had it the first week of the month, they slacked off for the rest of the month, because that's where their financial temperature was at. So no matter what circumstance, the person with the $36,000 self-image would not produce more than the $36,000 income. To do anything else would have made them uncomfortable. So that's what he was talking about here in the next part about that. And it's just amazing when you kind of compare it to your life, how it is where we've lived and we've made those decisions and we've always been comfortable at those incomes a year. And now we have to step out of our comfort zone and say, okay, well, if I want to support my family, if I want my family to have everything that we want in life, if I want to have a house that's paid for, if I want to be financially free, then I have to step out of my comfort zone and I have to do much more than I've done before. Anybody else want to elaborate on that?
One of the things that when we're speaking about your internal temperature when it comes to money and finances and things like that, and I like to tell, I was in a group of women that I coached a few years ago, and of course everybody had, that was about the same time that The Secret was coming out, and I think a lot of people got the thing of, you know, I can just sit on the couch and imagine money coming to me, and I'll just get all the money I want, right? And people then were like, well, this book doesn't work. You know, I sat there, I envisioned that I was going to get the money, but it never came to me. And in the coaching that I was doing, I explained to them, you know what, your money is like a ball in your hand, okay? So you have a tennis ball or a baseball or a bouncy ball or whatever you have. And learning that law of attraction is like, now you've learned it, and you have that ball and you go this way, and then you just release the ball. What happens? Hits the ground, but it doesn't quite come back up to your hand. So you might be having all these great intentions. That's whatever's in the ball that you're holding. You might have all these great intentions and have all these visions and dreams and want financial success or health or better relationships, because everything always comes to about three things: money, health, and love, right? And you might have the intention of really, you know, having that in your hand, a physical ball or something. But when you release it, it just doesn't quite come back up to your hand. So what you have to do is, if you take the ball and you go this way, and you kind of throw the ball up a bit, you can catch it. It bounces and it comes right back to your hand. So what I tell people is that if you're stuck, and it can be on a financial temperature, or it could be on health, or it can be on even a personal level. But if you're stuck, you know what? Give it some inspired action, because that's what it is. Throwing that ball up in the air just a little bit is enough that your intention goes back down, hits the ground, comes back right up to your hand. So there is that thing of you have all the great intentions of the world, but they'll never come back to you if you don't give it just a little bit of inspired action.
Great story. Thank you so much, Jody, for sharing that. And one of the things here that he does mention is the one, I love the story where he shared about the shirt. He went with his boss, and they went into this store, this expensive store, and one shirt was $95. And he was so freaked out, he broke out in a cold sweat, thinking, I have to pay $95 for just one shirt. He was watching as his boss went, and he bought a lot of stuff that day, but he himself only bought that one shirt. And then he started wearing it once a week, and he started loving it, and it felt so much more comfortable. It felt so much more better. He felt so good in it. Then he started wearing it twice a week, and then eventually he started buying more, and then all of a sudden that's all he was wearing was from that store, shirts, all the time. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about changing yourself, changing your thinking how it can be much better, and you can have what you're thinking for. Because whatever you believe, you can achieve, right? It's like Napoleon Hill. Whatever a man can achieve and believe it can achieve. Whatever a man can believe and conceive, he can achieve. So whatever you do, and when you tell yourself affirmations, and when you tell yourself this positive talk in your head, then it's going to happen. Because it's happened for each and every one of us here on the panel. We all know that. We can all tell stories where it's told us. I can tell you stories. Jody can tell you stories. Rachel, every single one of us has experienced it. But folks, I want to tell you something, and I want to encourage you today to tell you it takes that first step. Just like Jody was sharing, and she was saying, it's good to have the intentions, but you have to do something towards those intentions in order for it to start working. If you just sit there and dream about it and hope it's going to jump out at you from the couch, like on The Secret, people thinking that way from the book, The Secret, nothing's going to happen. You have to take the action, you have to take that first step, and you have to just step out of your comfort zone and go do something about it. Anybody else want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, Diane, I just want to kind of like step out and say, just make sure that, you are, as long as you are uncomfortable, that your income is about to increase. If you look at your income and it's the same, that you're not doing anything more. Just like that thermostat, room temperature is going to stay the same. There's nothing going to happen different until you turn up the heat. So if you want things to happen differently in your business, in your life, turn up the heat. And most of us don't like the heat. The heat is uncomfortable. Stop and think about it. We get a fan, got to turn the air conditioner on, we got all these things, but when you really stop and think about it, the heat is good. It helps to detox you. It's things that it's good for the body. Just same thing with your business. If you really, really, really want your business to grow, if you really, really want to make some extra money and do some great things in your life and in your business, you got to turn up the heat some. So, get uncomfortable being comfortable. Back to you, Di.
Absolutely. And something that he says here that I love is bombard your mind with different images and different sayings, everything. Like if you think right now that your bank account has no money, you don't have any money at the end of the month, well, change those images. Imagine your bank account. Use your imagination, visualization, do all that stuff on a regular basis, and I promise you, your life will change from that. It's happened to us. It happened to me. I'll speak for myself. It has happened to me the last 6 months, how much my life has changed because I started doing what I'm thinking. I started doing the visualization, and my life has gone from where it was to the next level and still growing every single day because I'm sharing what I'm doing right now.
Diane, too, I wanted to mention that, a lot of times we are conditioned because of our childhood. We're conditioned to think that, we are not supposed to want, a nice house or a nice car. There's something wrong with being rich. There's so many conditionings that take place as children. We're told, money does not grow on trees. We're getting all these, I forgot the word that they use, but we're given all those as children. So as an adult, it limits us to believing that we can have them. But just like you mentioned, it's really, really important that you get a vision board, that you go to, like a library, grab some magazines, cut out some pictures of some things that you want. Go to, like they have like these show homes, go to them and you see a house that you want, get that picture of that house and put it on the board. And then every day, wake up seeing yourself in that house. Wake up seeing yourself in that car. It's not until you change the way that you think that you will get the things that you want. So just wanted to add that little tip to it.
Absolutely, Rachel. And make yourself a 90-day plan. If you make yourself a 90-day plan, then and a 30-day plan, and then a 60-day plan, you always know what's happening, and you can get to that next level of where you're at. So the next part here is the 9 guidelines for creating effective affirmations, and I'm just going to mention the first part of each one of them. So the first one is start with the words I am. Start making the habits of using your sentences and say I am instead of any other words. The second one is use present tense. Describe what you want as though you already have it. And I know that's hard for a lot of us sometimes, but you know what? The more you do it, the more real it becomes. So start using present tense. The third one is state it in the positive. Affirm what you want, not what you don't want. Always talk about what you want and don't talk about what you don't want, because you attract what you think about and what you talk about. So always make sure you state the positive. Always make sure you talk in your affirmations in the positive aspect of it. Number 4 is keep it brief. Keep it short and simple, because if you make it too long, you won't be able to keep paying attention. Our attention span is only so and so long, so you have to keep it brief. Number 5 is make it specific. Always make it as specific as you possibly want. Like if you want that whatever kind of model, let's say a BMW, do you want a white BMW? Do you want a blue one? Do you want a black one? What color is it? How's the leather? Is it leather seating inside? When you sit inside, what does it smell, brand new, or is it a used vehicle? Always be very specific about what you want. Number 6, include an action word ending with ing. The active verb adds power to the effect by evoking an image of doing it right now. So I say, I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. So expressing, right? Number 7, including at least one dynamite emotion or feeling word. So if you state an emotion in there, and if you have a feeling, like a lot of people say, use your 5 senses, then do that and it will feel much more real to you. Just one sec here. Number 8, make affirmation for yourself, not others. Always focus on what and doing it for yourself, because you don't know what's in the other person's mind. Number 9, add or something better. When you're affirming getting a specific situation like a job or opportunity or vacation or anything like that, always add the words okay, that, or something more. Let's say you want to make $20,000 a month. Say $20,000 or more a month. So those are just some of the points that we have here, reading from the book, that you can use. And a simple way to create affirmations, number 1 is to visualize what you like to create. Visualize what you would like to create. See things just as you would like them to be. Place yourself inside the picture and see things through your eyes. And like I mentioned, the car thing. Number 2, hear the sounds you would be hearing if you had already achieved your vision. Number 3, feel the feeling you want to feel when you have created what you want. Number 4, describe what you're experiencing in a brief statement, including what you're feeling. Number 5, if necessary, edit your affirmation to make it meet all of the above guidelines. So in other words, add some senses into your visualization. Like if you're sitting on your desk chair, imagining you're opening your bank account and there's so much money, think about, are the birds singing outside? Do you have the window open? Can you feel a cool breeze? Do you have a shiver running up your arm from this breeze? Make it real. Visualize it with such intense feelings. And use your 5 senses as you write out your affirmations. Anybody else want to share anything else?
Yeah, actually what I'll do is I will actually share an affirmation that I did. I think I've had this affirmation for a couple of years. And it was with another group of ladies I was masterminding with, and they were really talking about who we are and to make our own, our affirmation be something that's relatable to us. So one of the things that I've always had other people say, and I didn't really like this about myself, so I kind of fought against it, was being a strong person, okay? Other people said to me, oh, wow, you're so strong, you've gone through so much stuff, and how do you do that? And I always kind of equated strength to actually being kind of weak, and I don't know why I did that. But here's my affirmation that I did a few years ago, and it has just, I read this daily, so this is my affirmation for my own personal strength, is that I am inspired every day by my strength. This inner strength allows me to move forward and pave a smooth path for others to follow. This strength in myself is an attraction that others have noticed for years, and now I'm allowing myself to work with my inner strength. So it kind of actually hit all the key points that he said, because you start with an I am. Choose something that is really great in your life. Choose something to affirm that you know is a positive for you. That's where I would start. So anyone listening here today and kind of wondering, well, what do I start with? Start with who you are and start affirming the more positive aspects of your skills and what you love to do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jody. Anybody else want to share before we do the last part here? No? I just want to read this last part and the example he gives in here about an affirmation that he did. It says, God is my infinite supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under the grace of God for the highest good of all my concerns. I am happily and easily earning, saving, and investing $100,000 a year. So if you're somebody who believes in God, I'm somebody who believes in God, so I would easily put that into my affirmation as I write them out. And I have some actually here, right here on my wall, which I continually, and what I do is I take one a day and I work with that one, and as they manifest in my mind, then I start remembering them when I'm walking or when I'm doing something with the kids, and I repeat them to myself. Because I remember I was once in this program, and I'm not going to mention any names about past programs that I was in, but there was this lady on the talk in the mornings. I'd dial in and to listen to a call, and she always had the millionaire mindset. And she'd always repeat the quote of, I am a millionaire, I walk like a millionaire, I talk like a millionaire, I feel like a millionaire, I invest like a millionaire. I do what millionaires do, and I prosper like millionaires do. I help other people like millionaires do. And it's much longer than that. I don't have to read the rest of it. But if you do something like that, that manifests in your mind, and you feel like it. You start feeling like a millionaire. You walk taller, you feel straighter, you feel more confidence in doing what you want to do, and you will become that millionaire if you keep repeating those affirmations to yourself. Now, if there's nothing anybody else wants to share, we'll probably have to close out here. We're coming up here. We're getting a little bit longer today, but that's okay because this was a very important subject. I love this subject. I love reminding myself to step out of my comfort zone, and I love it when we push each other, like my accountable partner Jody and myself and this group. We like to push each other and say, okay, where are you at in your business? What do you need? Where can we help you? So we'd like to be here for you as well to do that. If there's some area in your business or in your life that you need help with, just contact one of us or come on our blog, check out our blog and check it out, and leave a comment for us. We will answer you back, and we will help you to get to where you need to go, because we are here for you every single day. We love being here for you and giving you guys value for what you need. Does anybody else want to add anything onto this last part here? No? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out, and tomorrow we'll be back here at the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're so glad that you made it out with us today. We thank you so much that you've come on today and watched us and been part of this with us. So take some action today. Decide something today. Even just take a piece of paper and write down 2 or 3 affirmations that you want to commit to this week. It's those little steps that help you get out on your way to where you want to go. If you don't take the action of taking those little steps, then you're just going to be stuck in that comfort zone, and you're not going to be uncomfortable. You're just going to live that mediocre life that the 93% of the population lives out there. But don't be that. Come out and join us with the 3 to 5% people, and come and step out of your comfort zone. Be all that you can be, and become the person that you want to be, so that you can make this world a better place. So that's all. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, I just wanted to recognize some people who made comments over on the side. Lynn, thank you very much for coming out and listening with us. Also, Lynn said that, Jody, those were some awesome affirmations. And then Maria says, thank you for your inspired word. You made my day. Andrea said, finding you. Andrea, it was so great having you join us today. Thank you very much. And then we have Fadwa, who says, I'm an Egyptian girl and I want to talk to you. So, Fadwa, send us a message. We will definitely respond back to you if you have some questions. Or if you have a question here, you can leave the question at the time. So just wanted to recognize those who did come out and say something. Back to you, Diane.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that. So that's it for now. You guys, thank you for coming and watching us, and we will be here tomorrow at the same time, at the same place. Come join us, and yes, connect with us on the blog or message one of us. We're all out there on the Facebook, everywhere. You can find us on the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs blog, and leave a comment for us. Let us know how we're doing. Okay, thank you, and that's it for today. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.